Your kids could get free or low-cost health coverage from Medicaid or CHIP. Even if you've applied before, they may be eligible now. Kids up to age 19 are covered for checkups, vaccines, dentist visits, hospital care, and more. And if they already have Medicaid or CHIP, remember to renew every year. Visit insurekidsnow.gov or call 877-KIDS-NOW. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the Sobros Network proudly brings to you some in-depth movie discussion with our resident film critic, Brandon Vick.
Happy evening, everyone. The Vick's Flicks podcast is here.
Welcome back for another episode of the Vick's Flicks podcast right here on Nashville Movie Dispatch. I'll be your host for the show, the EIC at SobrosNetwork.com, Big Natural Stoney Keeley. You can follow me on Twitter at Stoney Keeley. Collectively, we are at Sobros Network, and you can check out all of our work at NashvilleMovieDispatch.substack.com. Joined, as usual, by the star of the show himself, the man whose namesake it bears. He is a board member of the Music City Film Critics Association. He is a member of the Southeastern Film Critics Association. He's our resident film critic here on Nashville Movie Dispatch, Mr. Big Shot himself, Brandon Vick. Brandon, how you doing today, my man?
Happy fall.
Happy fall,
Happy
y'all.
fall, y'all.
It is a tradition unlike any other.
Yep.
It is the Nashville Film Festival starting up tomorrow,
Yeah.
September 18th, running through the 24th. How many years is this of covering? Is this our 10th festival?
I think it's 10 years, yeah.
But we had the COVID year, and was it all virtual, or did they not have the festival that year?
I think it was virtual.
Because I think I think last year might have been year 10. Seems like I remember making the post.
That it was 10 years. Maybe this is the 11th.
If they didn't skip a year for COVID, 24 would have been the 10th.
Okay.
So this would be
Yeah.
11th, yeah.
But I mean, I remember I went and volunteered one day for some type of thing for my cinema something class in college.
Yeah.
Our buddy Mac.
Mm-hmm.
We went and we met Ray McKinnon and Walton Goggins there.
That's
and
pretty
talked
sick.
to him for like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And then I even worked for the film festival in the summer. I think it was the following year, so maybe still in college, so 2006, 2007 maybe.
So we're going on 2 decades of working with the film festival.
Which a lot of those people are gone now. I don't mean dead. They could be, but they've had a change in the last, 5 years.
Yeah.
So I remember the guy that used to run it. He was a nice guy, and he ended up taking over for director of the whole festival, Ted. And I remember I had worked. I actually was paid by them one year as well, and I did box office and stuff.
Sick.
And I remember the next year not hearing from them at all, so I had reached out to them.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember getting an email from Ted saying that they were going in a different direction, and I thought, this festival can't go in a different direction than box office. Yeah. So if you don't want me, just say it, because that was really weird. And honestly, I think it was because I worked and then went to see movies, and I had known a lot of people there, so maybe I over-abused it. I don't know. And so ever since then, because then started covering the film festival, I would see him every now and then. And
is he still there? Do you want to say anything directly to him?
No. He left. I don't know where he is now. Don't know where he is. Ted Crockett.
There we go. Let's just bash Ted for an hour. How about that?
Yeah. I don't even think I was mad then, but I just thought, why? Like, that's a response you get. Like, I feel like that's the response. Like, if he lost his job, that's what you would send to him. I don't know if you would send that to someone that just
Was tearing
sold
tickets.
tickets and stuff. That you're going in a different direction. And my
Well-
question, I remember thinking, what? Like, you not have tickets?
They're going in a direction of someone that's free.
Yeah, we want to go in this direction where they volunteer.
Yeah.
And but I like to think I got the last laugh.
Did you?
I mean, first of all, it's not like I got I was making six figures because I was there anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of it is like you get paid, so you kind of have to be there.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes, and the thing is, other people did it too. Like that's part of it. Why wouldn't you try to go see some movies? That just always made sense to me. But
you think they didn't we're recording now, so
yeah.
I don't want to forget this conversation. You think that they saw you going to movies after your shift and they were like, no, we can't let this guy keep getting
that,
free
or maybe
movies.
they thought that I was leaving during my shifts.
Oh, okay.
But I wasn't. Or if I did, I got all the necessary people saying, yeah, go ahead. We've got 5 people here, and it's Wednesday at 1:00 in the afternoon. Because who knows what he saw and what he didn't. And again, I never got another explanation but that. And that was after reaching out 2 or 3 times, and I thought, this is weird for me to be asking them about hiring me for a festival that was a month away. So I kind of saw it coming. But then when I came strolling in with a press badge, I said, "Oh, Teddy."
Did you say, come get this spanking?
I'm going to see all these movies.
Yeah.
And I just remember he was in his car and I ran up to his window and said, I drink your milkshake. My straw's over here. I go over here and I drink your milkshake.
Was that the year that There Will Be Blood aired at the
That's
Nashville
what's
Film
weird.
Festival?
It was 2 years before it came out. So.
Oh, man.
That's what was so weird about it when I saw it on the big screen.
Are you happy with the festival's decision to kind of limit some of these tertiary screenings at venues that are 50 miles apart from one another this year? And just they've really slimmed it down to pretty much just Green Hills for a lot of it, and the occasional screening at the Belcourt.
Yeah,
and
I think Belcourt
Soho
is
House or something like that.
Yeah, which I think as far as the only thing I know is that the Baltimorons movie is at the Soho House,
Okay.
which is sold out anyway, and I think you had to have a certain badge.
Yeah.
Sort of the same thing for the Nicole Kidman discussion too, but I like it. It's usually the only time I really go out to Green Hills.
Yeah,
I like that area. I have a closer Regal to me, but
my wife likes Macy's. We go there once or twice a year.
well, and don't forget about the Nordstrom's bathrooms.
The
They're
Nordstrom,
very nice.
very comfortable to shit in.
Emmy Squared is right there. They've
good
got an
spot.
Italian joint across the way.
Yeah.
I like it. I love the Belcourt. I like Green Hills parking better
Oh yeah.
than Belcourt, but Belcourt's pretty manageable. But yeah, and the thing is, even Franklin Theater had been one for the past couple of years, and I love that. I love the downtown Franklin, and I love the Franklin Theater. It's of another era.
That's where I saw Spirit Halloween a few years ago.
That's where I saw Sawyer Brown play after I saw their documentary.
I mean, great functions out there.
Right. But the problem is you can't really watch a movie from there and then go across town to, let's say, Green Hills.
Very difficult.
Unless one started in the morning and the other one started at night. That's the only way.
I remember the past few years, and they were doing screenings at Belmont too. And
yeah, they were.
Kind of
and
all
one
over
was
the
at
place.
Used to be a music thing. Remember we sat in those chairs?
You and McCash did. I didn't go.
Oh,
to
did
that
we
one.
not? Yeah. I forgot what was it Rocket Town?
Yeah, it might. I think it might have
Rocket
been.
Town.
Yeah. But the point is, you kind of had to. You get your press badge, and before I forget, I do want to give their PR team a quick shout out because they are on it, man. They are communicative, answered any questions that we have quickly and timely. They made a change a few years ago, it seems like, and they're going with the people they have now, and they just do a knockout job, man. They're so
Carson Brown.
Yeah, so pleasant to deal with Carson. I'm blown away by their efforts compared to what it was before when
Yes.
it used to be like pulling teeth to try and get something out of them.
Don't
so,
ever change Nashville Film Festival. You got You got some great peeps over there.
Yeah, but back, the last several years, you'd get the schedule, you'd get the notification, you're approved for press accreditation, and you sit down with the film guide, and you're just like, you have to kind of damn what you want to see. You've got to pay attention to the venues.
Yeah,
and that's how I would organize my days. Would be like, okay, well, there's a couple things playing at the Franklin Theater, which means I'm not going to be able to see this at the Belcourt, but at least if I go there, I can get in, a steady movie after movie after movie, days worth of coverage. And
there's times where, you maybe only got 30 minutes between one movie. Well, that's a lot more manageable at Green Hills than it is going from Franklin Theater to Green Hills.
Yeah, bingo. I mean, you can go upstairs and get you a beer in between screenings at Green Hills.
And also, I think what they've done is like most days are only at this theater. Mm-hmm. Like there are special events going on, like we talked about, like Soho House, and I think Nicole Kidman's thing is at the CMA,
the Country Music Hall of Fame.
So, but most of them are there, or like Wednesday when it wraps up, all of it's at Belcourt. Yeah. So it's just, I mean, convenience, of course, is key, but the whole thing is you can see more, and that's what you want.
Yeah, and I mean, to be fair, I don't know what your experience is like with other festivals. I've only been to a couple of other festivals beyond Nashville, but I know that you kind of have to pick and choose wherever you go. It's kind of the byproduct of having such a large volume of films to screen.
Yeah.
But I also think some other festivals will either trim that schedule down, they will offer more virtually. Like we still, I mean, we're recording this a little early, but we still don't even know if there's going to be a virtual catalog for Nashville this year.
I think there is, only because, now I don't know what's going to be a part of it, but they actually, I think in their most recent verbiage on there is like it actually runs past the festival. I think it's like from the
29th.
Like to the 29th.
Yeah.
But the question is, what are those? Most of the time, like the Tennessee features are on there.
I mean, last year they only had like 4 movies.
Right. And most of it was shorts, I think, right? Yeah. So I'm curious to see what will be. And, I mean, what Monday and Tuesday are basically award winners, whether it's the awards or the fan best of the fest type stuff.
You have the opening night on Thursday, tomorrow night, and then you have the closing night on the following Wednesday, and then you've essentially got like 3 days in between that you're going to cram all the movies
Friday,
into.
Saturday, Sunday.
I think that does kind of make it a little more difficult to pick and choose what you want to watch. I mean, you and I had a real concerted effort to sit down with this schedule and be like, okay, we want to see as much as we can possibly see. What can we get a head start on, and what are we picking and choosing from that?
Yeah.
And I think we've come up with a pretty extensive list, but it's still like only like half of what the festival's offering.
Oh yeah. And
so I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you understand the inner workings of it, but I mean, why essentially
I got fired. I have no idea how it works.
Yeah, Ted said, get out of here. Get out of here, buddy.
I drink your milkshake.
But I'm just curious. I would be curious why the decision to only do, essentially 6 days this year, and 2 of those are just like opening night, closing night screenings. Because it used to last for quite a while.
I think it would go like another week. Like it would end on a Wednesday, but it would be like Thursday to like, what is it? And sometime like within that 2-week margin, maybe 12 days, something like that.
I remember it being like, I want to say 12 to 15 days.
And the beauty of it is because you could get new screenings. Now, I will say I guess one of the popular ones that I think we both are trying to see is the Opryland theme park documentary.
Yeah.
Opryland USA, The Circle Broken. Mm-hmm. So they added another one at the end of the...
But it's at 3:00 on a Wednesday, and I have a day job. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be able to
And the other one is sold out.
Yeah.
Which is why I guess they added that one. But yeah, I mean, it's tough. I mean, it would be nice to have, and I guess the positive side of the best of the fest stuff is maybe some of these films win, and you can maybe go see them.
Yeah.
That's a lot of times those are your second chances.
Yeah.
But the opening night film is Man on the Run, Paul McCartney doc, directed by Morgan Neville, who's won an Oscar. And I think it's about basically his success after the Beatles broke up and that dealt with Wings and stuff. And then the closing night one is Kiss of the Spider Woman, which I'm actually pretty pumped about.
That is the Diego Luna, Jennifer Lopez flick.
Directed by Bill Condon, who did Dreamgirls. So I do have a ticket for that one, and that's at the Belcourt.
That'll be cool.
And I think they've been trying to basically something to do with music tends to be opening night and closing night, but I kind of like that they went outside the norm to get Kiss of the Spider Woman. I feel like that's a pretty solid get, and it's not just like, a documentary about Willie Nelson's hair or something that somebody did in Nashville. So
yeah.
But we were lucky enough, and the reason we're doing this podcast is because we actually got to see some of the films early, including one that I almost got a ticket for at Sundance. Almost bought it online.
Okay.
And I didn't.
Yeah.
But it all worked out.
Well, let's dive right in then. I mean, this is a preview. We came here to discuss the films that we've already seen that will be screening as a part of the Nashville Film Festival this weekend. Do you want to start? Let's start with Omaha then.
Yeah, Omaha is the one I was referencing.
I got to watch this one as well, and it was directed by Cole Webley.
Yep.
Webley or Weebly, I don't know.
I was going to say Webley.
But my question for Cole Webley would be, why do you hate us, and why do you want to make us cry?
Correct.
This was kind of a rough watch, and I know some people, like if you read the Letterboxd reviews of it, some people call it basically exploitation of the subject matter just to generate emotion. But I sometimes also think that people on Letterboxd struggle with basic human empathy as well. So.
I don't. That's not what I got from the film. The film stars Joe Magaro.
Yeah, which I remembered him from past lives.
Exactly. He's been in a ton of stuff.
He's been in a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Anybody who goes to see Omaha, you'll know him. But that's probably the top one considering its success. But I tell you what, Molly Bell Wright and Wyatt Solace play the daughter and son, and oh my gosh, they break your heart. They are so good, and sometimes it's them. It's just them carrying the scene. And
let me see if I can.
John is terrific. And you were talking about empathy. I think that's it. I didn't really know what the film was about. So,
well, let me get the synopsis real quick.
Okay,
courtesy of the Nashville Film Festival's film guide, which you can get at nashfilmfest.org. After a family tragedy, siblings Ella and Charlie are unexpectedly woken up by their dad and taken on a journey across the country, experiencing a world they've never seen before. As their adventure unfolds, Ella begins to understand that things might not be what they seem.
Yeah.
That is a well-written synopsis.
Yes, it is. That tells you enough, but not really what's in store.
Yeah. I don't know. Did you pick up on where this thing was going?
I did. I felt like, yes. Now, the way that it ends, and there's some texts that come up. I had no idea about any of that. Like, I did not know that that's where this all stemmed from. But after the dog, I thought, something's up. And there are little things when they are, when they're talking and the dad has this look.
Yeah.
And when they go to the zoo.
The zoo was what I was like, oh,
because
my God.
You know they can't, like, there's a struggle the whole way, and it's like, So part of it was honestly kind of the unraveling of this, what looks to be basically mother's died and they've lost the house.
Yeah.
that's all you really need to know. So it looks like it, and it is a road trip movie.
Yeah.
But oh man,
it's a beautiful movie, like literally, as far as like the cinematography, the landscape, the scenery, all of that. And it's kind of one of those. To me, I like films that kind of raise conflict within you, because in a way you're kind of like, this is beautiful, but then you're also in the back of your mind is the hardship that this family is going through.
Right.
Is very, very deeply painful, and so it's almost like it sets this spectrum up within you of deep pain to utter beauty, and you're kind of just thrown in between the two for the duration of this film.
What was so unexpected was it was just quietly profound.
Quietly profound is a great way of putting it.
In what this story ends up telling in the end. And I think seeing it as a dad, I can't imagine. Yeah, you can't imagine, but there's empathy that comes out, because this is not how it was supposed to be anyway.
Yeah.
Like from the beginning of these kids' lives and what they've already had to endure.
Mm-hmm. And
I think there's a lot of things that are going on from scene to scene. Some I think are more noticeable than others. There's others that's quite subtle and just sort of how a look or reaction happens.
Yeah.
But it's not easy. It's not easy. It's not easy for anybody in that car.
Yeah.
And I think that I think Webley does a great job at having you remember that this is something that he's not a bad guy for doing. He's just a guy that's down and out, and this is the only thing that he thinks can change his kids' lives for the better. I mean, it's only like 80-something minutes. So, I mean, but it's done so well. And it's such a loving movie about a subject matter that I can only say as a parent, it's hard to imagine. But then again, I haven't walked in this man's shoes. And you don't know what's really going on. But you know what? Even through it all, I really thought it was there was a nice, graceful way to end the film.
It did. Yeah.
That made me really like it, because there's a thing where once you know what's happening, how do we get out of it? Like, it's narratively why, how do you get out of that? And I thought he did a terrific job.
Did your wife watch this with you?
No.
I'm curious what her thoughts on it would be.
No.
Because I want to, like, there's a part of me that wants to get tickets to this and go see it with Aura, like a fun little date night on a Saturday night. Because I do think it's a very emotional film, and I would just I think it is one that, with that cinematography and everything, I think I would like to see on the big screen. And is this going to get a theatrical run at some point? Where
I think it might. I mean, I
maybe
don't
at
know
the Belcourt sometime down the road.
I don't know the status on like distribution wise, but I remember it being pretty positive reaction from Sundance. So if it's riding that wave, it could be something that I could see maybe getting somewhere somehow next year.
Yeah.
I
could also see my wife hating me for taking her to this.
Yeah, because the whole thing is, and I'm sure people can tell, you don't really want to reveal anything, because that's part of the journey.
Yeah,
it's a huge part of the journey. But I listen, I loved it. I would tell you, it's my favorite that I've seen so far. I was blown.
Mine too.
I was really blown away by just how gentle it is, but also like we've said, the story of it is so beautifully told, and it's also, it is quite heartbreaking.
I will say I've only gotten to see 5 yet, and
at
the end of this show, we'll talk about some things that we have tickets to go see once the festival starts. But given what we've seen so far, I'll speak for myself. If you get to see one movie from the film festival this year, I think this is what I would recommend.
Yeah, I do too. I think it's quite, again, I would kind of really stick to that synopsis that you read from the Nashville Film Festival guide, and then just take it all in. And I was highly impressed. I got it as a 4 out of 5.
I gave it a 4 out of 5 too. Yeah.
And for those wondering, this will be going on the 20th.
September 20th, that's Saturday night, 8 p.m. at Regal Green
Hills.
Hills Theater 14.
There you go.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I might be able to convince my wife. Like,
That's prime time. You can make that.
8 o'clock, we could go get us a nice dinner at Emmy Squared, go have a drink at the bar.
Have you gone to that Italian place?
No, not
You
yet.
should go there.
No. Macaroni Grill?
No, God rest its soul.
What? No, what is over there? Is it
It's some Italian.
Carrabba's?
No, Carrabba's is over there, but I mean, it's like right.
An actual Italian restaurant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No,
Next-
we haven't been. Maybe.
Next to that, there's some kind of bakery, chopped. and
Yeah,
then
I
the
know what you're
Italian
talking about.
place.
Yeah. Maybe I'll convince her. I'll just send her this synopsis and be like,
Yeah.
There
Oh,
you-
this sounds
yeah.
good.
there was a part of me that honestly, this is so stupid. I'm gonna out myself for being a total meathead. But I read, understand that things might not be what they seem, and for a split second I was like, "Ooh, is this gonna
Sci-fi?
Yeah, sci-fi. Is this gonna be spooky? Is there a ghost in the car?"
Oh, we're gonna watch a thriller.
And instead, it takes the most painful turn imaginable, and you're just like, "Fuck."
Listen, the dog part was enough.
I
God.
was bawling.
Oh.
I'm like, I had my laptop up because we got the screener in advance. I watched it on my MacBook. I had my laptop out on the kitchen counter while I was doing the dishes, and I'm just sitting there with my hands covered in like food and water and soap, and I'm just tears streaming down my face. I can't even see what I'm doing. I'm just like, what the fuck is
But you know
happening
what?
here?
And I think, and I got to say this too about where kind of the approach into the dad character, and the reason that John, I think, plays it so well is there are so many indicators that he loves his kids and he loves that dog.
Oh,
So
I know.
what it must take to go on this journey, and he's the only one that knows what he thinks must be done.
Man.
It's
To just feel like that isolated and alone and helpless. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's something, man. It's crazy. I would recommend this one if you get the chance to go Saturday night. It's a
I do too.
It's a tearjerker though.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So be prepared.
What's next on? Let's talk about CreatiVets because I think you and I have differing opinions on it.
I mean, I think the bottom line, I think we're there.
And I have a full review of this up on Nashville Movie Dispatch, by the way.
Oh yeah, that's right. So
Came out
people
last
already
Friday.
know your
Yeah.
thoughts, but yeah, I mean, so it's a documentary. It's what, a little over an hour long?
It's an hour and 8 minutes. I mean,
And that's
an
like
easy
total,
one.
so I'm pretty sure it's even shorter than that.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, it's a great subject. I didn't know about it, so as far as just making people aware, I think it does its job quite nicely.
I mean, my wife's in the music business, so I'm telling her about this movie, and she's looking at me. She's like, is this CreatiVets? And I was like, yeah. How'd you know?
And
That's Nashville.
And yeah, that's very true.
CreatiVets, the synopsis.
Oh, yeah.
A combat veteran finds healing through art after the loss of a fellow service member, leading to the establishment of CreatiVets, an organization that offers transformative experiences in the arts to veterans. 69 minutes. So it's technically an hour 9.
And this is, I think this shows what it. 2 o'clock on Friday.
And 2 p.m. on a Friday.
Yeah.
I know that's going to be hard for a lot of people to swing, but it is an easy breezy hour.
It is, and that's at Green Hills too.
It's
Regal
at
Green Hills
as well.
out
yeah.
there. So for me, I mean, I respect the hell out of it, and the story about Richard.
Yeah.
Who is the one that basically has come up with CreatiVets, because I think his name was Jacob. His partner was just, they were kidding around 1 minute, and the next he was sniper killed him. And it starts off by basically having where like, hey, you know what? We brought these vets in and we're going to do music, and they bring these singer-songwriters, and they don't, and it's not that they're writing it, but they're telling their stories, and then the songwriters are basically making what they will of it to make a song. I think a little bit of the issue that I had is it seems like we started on one thing and then we kind of abandoned it for something else. So I would have liked to have seen more of that process first. And then there are some of the vets that you know, they do some talking in the doc, but you don't really get to know them at all.
Yeah.
Or their story comes later, but it's not, it's sort of just like a 1 or 2 line thing. We were talking about, there was one about an older vet who was in the Navy, and there was basically a fire that happened on his ship, and he got out. He thought he got everybody out. There was one left, and it was basically just a kid, 18, but he did get him out. But he said, my nightmare is I always have that. And so those are the stories I think that are the most effective. And obviously Richard's story is the biggest one. So I kind of wish there was more of that where you could kind of see like what these guys are dealing with instead of, I mean, I feel like some it's just kind of like, well, you know, we did this and, you know, it comes from the family. My dad was that, you know, but nothing's ever really explored on that front.
So the critique is like add another 30 minutes to the film and dive into some of these stories.
One, you have that freedom, right? Now, I'm saying that as like they may have to do GoFundMe. I mean, I'm just saying that this subject can do a 90-minute thing. And I think we could have just added more depth to these guys' stories on top of the help that CreatiVets provides. You know, there's stuff about their the golf course, the charity thing, which is fine. I don't know, maybe because it was at the end mixed in with some other stuff. That just didn't feel as important as I was more invested in the classes that they do, and the things that they offer. And then they're like, well, you know, now it's over I think they did 49, 50 states. And then it's also Puerto Rico. Like the outreach is there, but I just don't know if all of that and everything that they even do and stuff comes across in this hour and 5 minutes really movie. But as far as what it does tell you, and I think its main purpose is to just bring more awareness to it, as you and I had no idea what it is. It gets the job done. I just think there's some things that would have been more effective than maybe some choices that they made. Or maybe maybe that's all they had and that's the footage and this is what you get. I mean, it is an indie film.
I did say my critique of it, and it's not even necessarily a critique. The thing I had about it was that you've got such a strong subject matter. Like, I don't know, for something like this, it did feel a lot like you just got to hold up the camera and make sure it's on, man. Like, that's kind of the depth to the filmmaking here. But I didn't really have a problem with the structure. I thought it was effective for only being an hour and some odd minutes. It was just kind of like setting you up. Here's what we do. Here's how I got to be in this spot. And now here's how we're growing and expanding to help others. I did say, you know, before we started recording, like, it does kind of feel like an advertisement for this organization, which is totally fine. I'm not against that. I do think this is one that, again, like, it's kind of hard to swing 2 p.m. on a Friday to people that have day jobs. But if you get the chance, I did think it was pretty effective in the stories that it did share. I really liked seeing the songwriting rooms where the veterans are in, kind of providing their input with people that tell stories for a living, that do it in front of, you know, thousands of people, or in some cases maybe hundreds of people, but I digress. Is Nashville. I mean, there's a room in every building where you can play in front of some people.
Yeah, true.
One
of them was at the Titan Stadium.
That's true. Yeah. I really enjoyed getting to look in on that process and seeing veterans share their story in real time, and these songwriters saying, okay, well, let's lean into that. What do you think of this? And then they write out lyrics, they play a tune, get a melody, and you can see the look on the face. And then by the end of the film, when they actually see the finished product and you can see them like, man, getting choked up, like, that's my story in the form of a song. I thought that was particularly rewarding. I liked seeing that.
It's good. and that's what I mean. I feel like there are so many times where we could have gotten more of that instead of maybe shifting a bit. Like Richard's story and then Jacob's family and all of that. Like that, that personal stuff always, I guess, hits harder than. Now, I'm with you. That process was cool. I just felt like we didn't really dig into that too much. And then by the time we come back to it, it's like, oh yeah. But now watching their reaction to it, yeah, I mean, you still, I mean, it's still great to see, but it's kind of like, well, I guess it was fun.
Yeah. I did, I thought, I can't remember the man's name. It might have been Richard, where he's talking about how like therapy never helped with him. And then you hear some of the other veterans talking about like, to me, like, I know you don't want to be critical of the VA. That's kind of a touchy subject, but like the experiences that like I've heard of with my relatives that had to deal with the VA have not been very, very good.
Well, there's one where the guy says he never talked to the same psychiatrist twice.
Yeah. And so you're constantly starting over and telling your story over and over.
Yeah.
And
or it just didn't work. Because I think the same guy that saved that kid on his ship or submarine, whatever it was, I think he said that he's tried different stuff and that it didn't work. Now, he didn't go into specifics. But you know what? To me, that's also another fine example of we could have touched on that more too. Now, maybe some stuff like you said, maybe they don't want to touch it.
Well, if you kind of look at like, what's the purpose of this? And I don't know that they were necessarily trying to document troubles with Veterans Affairs. They were trying to put over CreatiVets and make it
showing
tell
that
its story.
Right.
And so that's where I do think it kind of gets a little tricky. Like, do you want to start picking as a filmmaker?
Yeah.
Do you want to start picking a fight with the government?
And I'm thinking the person that is, I think the VA's gone now.
It could be.
I think,
I don't know.
That's what I kind of mean. I think for me, I think there was just a narrow scope of what we want to do. I wish that would have been widened a bit and we could have explored more. But I do think, I think for what they wanted to do and what they wanted to present, I'd say mission accomplished on that front.
I did think
they get some good stuff from some of the guys.
There was a really, I would say, important message in that though, where it's like these traditional means of healing are not effective for certain people, but then they find art through CreatiVets, and you hear the man talking like, I didn't know this was in me, and it has helped me way more than any other form of therapy has so far. And
I like, and it's said more than a few times of basically art is seen as this kind of, it's not macho.
Yeah.
I'm not going to draw paint or anything like that. And I love how that kind of, the notion that they couldn't do it because they are this type of that masculinity element to, just being in the military anyway. I love that. And I thought well, first of all, that idea was shattered, but then I loved Richard's art thing where he was talking about no matter how you feel about the military, when they were walking on helmets, you were walking on people who, protected you or served you, and but they didn't realize that's what they were stepping on
until they were.
I was like, man, he I really liked him. They could have just done one just solely on him, to be honest.
You had one veteran saying, like, by the end of the first week of the program, I was beginning to get a little sleep, and that hadn't happened in 15 years.
Yeah.
I really thought it was an interesting way to show how expressing yourself and getting your story out there can be healing in and of itself, and how these veterans talked about, like, the one thing that they missed from the military was the camaraderie and the brotherhood that you had, where it's you and the person next to you and you're fighting for your lives. Like, you don't get that in civilian life.
Yeah.
But through CreatiVets, they were able to link up with people like them and to do something, create art as a common goal. I just thought it was a really, just a really admirable cause.
I agree with that.
That I think they, I think as far as the organization itself and the work that they're doing, I think they did well to highlight that.
Yes, I would agree. I would agree with that. And it just goes, and just to further prove the point that a lot of them would rather just keep in the military than come out into real life because that adjustment is horrifying for most of them. And you would never and for someone like us, you would never think that it would be that hard. But just like they say, they never come back as the same person. Yeah. It's it's scary and you feel for them, and then you have something like CreatiVets where people are trying to make a difference and it's working. So I mean, you have to applaud them for that. Yeah,
I would agree.
I gave mine a 3 out of 5.
I gave it either a 3 or a 3.5. I don't remember.
All right. See, we ended up getting basically the same thing. I just thought there was more, and honestly, I wouldn't doubt if there's another thing about it, and maybe it.
I don't know. I don't know that I want more, to be honest, because then I would probably cry more.
Oh, it'd be way more depressing. I should have said that.
Yeah. Again, CreatiVets is screening Friday at 2 p.m. from Regal Green Hills. So that is September 19th, a couple of days from now. What's next? We've got a couple more that we both saw.
Let's do the Gas Station Attendant.
Okay. I loved this one too.
I ended up enjoying it by the end. I was fascinated at first, and then I kind of felt like it felt a little aimless to me. I didn't quite know where we were going with it. I mean, it's essentially about a daughter and her relationship with her father, and also the story of her father and what he was able to do, and not able to do.
Well, I've got the synopsis.
Go ahead. Yeah, run that one down.
As a young boy, H.N. Shanta Murray ran away from home to escape the extreme poverty of his Indian village. He traveled the country in search of work, dreaming that one day his life would change. It did, following a serendipitous encounter with a couple visiting India from Houston, Texas. But life in the States was not the American dream he imagined. Carla Murthy's film weaves together home videos and phone conversations recorded while her father worked as a gas station attendant in Texas. Alongside his story, she reflects on her own experiences as the daughter of immigrants, her mother is from the Philippines, trying to make a life of her own in New York City, and now as a mother of 2 boys. What emerges is an intimate love letter, a meditation on a complicated father-daughter relationship, and a poignant tribute to the immigrant working class. Screening Saturday, September 20th, 3:30 p.m. at Regal Green Hills.
So, yeah, I think all of that is essentially accomplished by the end. As far as just the complexities of the relationship, but also the decisions that he was making as she was young for their family. Also, it is an immigrant story. But yeah, I mean, I really liked him. If you're going to do a documentary, your subject has to kind of, be somewhat interesting, likable. And their conversations, I really like that it just had the words up there because it's all in the voice of the stress that he was that he was under, and kind of his whole approach to life, like when they go and take the jewelry it's the first time she goes with them, I think, in a long time. Those intimate scenes, those intimate moments, I kind of was really engaged by. And then there were other parts that I just didn't know really where they were going. Some of it felt repetitive to me, but then we would kind of hit one of those emotional scenes, and it's like, oh, okay, maybe this is what we're leading to. And then by the end, after she finds something out, and there seems to be the family kind of has drifted apart after one of those Christmases where everybody rented a house or something together, and you kind of find out what he was doing. And it's almost, I mean, it really boils down to that, you can't pick them.
Yeah.
But you love them anyway. And so yeah, I felt like it was, it was the whole journey was rewarding by the end. And I think we kind of got there. I felt like at times it was slow. Like I said, kind of meandered a bit, but, anytime they kind of came back together, and especially like when they were having these sort of conversations, and it's kind of like an onion, you kind of like, oh, okay, we're peeling away a little more.
Yeah.
That was the best stuff.
I thought this was such a big story that it felt like an odyssey to me. I mean, I just really...
You mean just from like an immigrant story to a father's story to the daughter?
There's so much meat on the bone here for me, is that it felt like, this is a film about poverty and the pursuit of a better life.
American dream.
It's a film about chance encounters. And I think in that, like this serendipitous encounter with this couple from Texas that decided they wanted to sponsor this man while they were vacationing. Like, because of that, he gets to come to America and try to build a better life than he had in India. And I think
he says he never knew why they...
And she asks him, why did they do it? And he says, you're probably the 20,000th person to ask me that. And I still don't know why. I think there's a lot about the perception. I mean, at the beginning of the film, Carla says, I started seeing my dad in every gas station I pass. And you think, like, we were kind of having a conversation before this about the film's title as the Gas Station Attendant.
Now, and I'll say, I said I had an issue with it because it's not, I felt like we could have come up with something better after seeing this relationship.
Yeah.
But I see your point now, and I kind of feel like, okay, all right, we can keep it.
Yeah. I thought it was.
Go ahead.
I thought it was, and sort of touching on generalizations.
Yes.
Maybe even a little tongue in cheek is not the word because it's not humorous, but it's like you're calling this film The Gas Station Attendant as if this man was just a gas station attendant.
Right.
And you don't know like how big of a story he actually has to get to where he's going in life.
Yeah.
And to me, I feel like that is intentional. And she starts talking about seeing her dad in every gas station that she passes.
And the violence that's also involved where someone had been robbed and shot. That was.
And so it just kind of makes you think, like, you go into a gas station and here's the gas station attendant. You buy your snacks, you pay for your gas, whatever, you go on about your business, but you don't know what the person on the other side of the counter has gone through just to get to that point.
Yeah.
And how many other people have similar stories to this that I feel like we kind of take for granted. And so for that, it was kind of like, on the surface, I caught myself going into this thinking this movie was going to be one thing because it's called The Gas Station Attendant. But then when I got into it and we do start peeling back the layers of this onion, then you kind of realize there's so much more to this. And it's kind of a profound moment where you think, like, I didn't know we were going to get into all this. Like,
did you think this was going to be a sci-fi movie?
I did not think it was going to be a sci-fi movie, but
all right.
I was kind of, it sounds bad, but it kind of did seem to me like there was something here, but I'm like, I could also see this just being like a kind of a boring documentary about nothing. And at the end of it, we're just like, oh, treat your gas station attendants better. But I think this was,
so she lured you in and then
which
gut punched you.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of identity in this too. She even says like, she doesn't really know where she's from or where she's going at a certain point.
Yeah.
I think there is an inspiring story about the work ethic and setting your pride aside to provide for your family. I mean, we talk about a guy, or this film's about a guy that was a fucking engineer working in Seattle. And then when he got laid off and the opportunities dried up, he had to make do. I mean, he ran a Denny's for a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
He gets a job at a gas station to help with the bills.
Yeah. Well, the whole thing is how long are you going to be there? And he doesn't know. It's, you know.
I think this is, without outright saying it, is a fair critique of our socioeconomical practice in this country of just giving people whatever line of credit they want, whatever debt that they can get into. The more the merrier.
Yeah.
And it gets them into trouble.
Yep.
And he makes decisions based off of desperation because he owes so much money.
But there's also that kind of perseverance and American dream where the next thing will be successful.
Yeah.
Because he even opens up another jewelry place when they move somewhere else. I don't know if it's in Texas or what. But so part of it is just that kind of guy he is. And one thing I really thought was great is he knew everybody. Everybody was his best friend. Mm-hmm. He was that kind of guy. That's
another thing is, like, she talks about how he would speak soft and sweetly, and he would be friendly to guys and or to everybody. And I think, like, that's another important message too. It's like, you think about what this man has been through as you learn more about his journey.
Yeah.
And you think about the financial trouble he's in.
Oh, yeah.
And he doesn't seem to let it affect how he treats the world.
Because he could be bitter and angry. He could walk around being bitter and angry.
And then you also think about it in hindsight, by the time they're talking about this, and you look back and you say, it's that demeanor, it's that nature that impressed him to this couple that decided to sponsor him to get him to start this whole thing anyway. It was kind of a flooring moment for me, because it's just like, it's a reminder that you never know what just simple acts of kindness can bring you and how rewarding they can be at times. I think there is some, like, generational, not necessarily trauma, but there's a message in here about how your decisions can affect your kids. And Carla talks about having to pay off both of their debts, which she does at the end, and all's well that ends well.
Took years to do.
Yeah. I think there are messages in here about family and about appreciating the time you have. She says at the end, I wish I just had more time. And, she asks him, or she wonders, like, how did he get up and keep going? How did he do it? So it was really stirring to me to see, like, the family portrait. And I do think there's a lot of this film that I think, like, there is a lot of, like, watching home movies, and I know that's not the thing for everybody. It takes its time and really letting these moments breathe. There's a lot of driving on the interstate and scenes of cityscapes and stuff like that. I get that, but but these other moments you're talking about help with it, and I think that's what, like, but they're kind of letting it play out in a way, but I feel like in a way they're kind of saving it till that last part. Oh yeah.
Where, this was the big problem. Oh, this is why they didn't talk for help. You know what I mean? Like, some of it is kind of like filling in space just to be like, but it's coming.
Yeah. So I don't know, by the time we got to the end of it, I was pretty impressed by how many branches this story branched off into.
And that was just one guy.
It was just one guy, just one gas station attendant.
Yep.
So there was one quote that I wanted to say. It was like, when he got to Texas, there's a quote from the movie where he says, "Here at least I have hope." And I thought that was like, it just kind of reminds me of some of the things that I take for granted sometimes.
Oh, yeah. And, and I guess in this time we're living in, that's a bittersweet quote. Yeah.
So the Gas Station Attendant, screening Saturday, September 20th, 3:30 p.m. at Regal Green Hills.
Yep. I gave that one a 3.5. By the end,
I gave it a 4. I cried. I thought. I laughed.
So Omaha.
Omaha and the Gas Station Attendant. We I feel like we talk about this every year when it comes to like seeing films that you really like at a film festival, and like it's a shame you can't get a physical copy. I mean, I'm not saying you can. I don't know this for sure, but I can't imagine I can go on Amazon and buy a physical copy of the Gas Station Attendant. But
probably not.
It is one that I would like to have in my collection that I'll probably never be able to.
Well, start the campaign now.
I'm just going to email Carla and be like, Carla,
oh, there you go.
Can you get me a
Blu-ray?
Blu-ray?
Can you burn this on a CD?
Can you get me a Blu-ray of this? All right, so that leaves us with I Was Born This Way. Is the last one that we both saw. So let me see when it's screening. I want to say Sunday.
Yep,
I think
it's
that's
the 21st, Sunday the 21st, right? 7:30 p.m. at Green Hills.
Man, these are all at Green Hills. This is this is fantastic.
Almost everything.
It says there's a Q&A with it as well.
Oh, okay.
I don't know who's going to be there for it. But the synopsis, according to the Nashville Film Festival's film guide, surviving the oppression of racism, homophobia, and childhood trauma, Carl Bean found his voice through song as a gospel singer in the New York gospel scene, and then through his 1974 album Universal Love. But it was his singing of the 1977 disco hit I Was Born This Way that would earn him fame. The song was celebrated as the world's first gay anthem. However, Bean eschewed a mainstream music career instead choosing a vocation in activism. He started the Minority AIDS Project, serving a vital role for underserved populations during the AIDS crisis, and he founded Unity Fellowship Church, the first LGBTQ plus church people of color. Using, I don't know what that sentence, for people of color, maybe. I don't know. Using innovative rotoscope animation and featuring appearances by Lady Gaga, Questlove, Billy Porter, and was it Dion or Dion? I can't remember.
I think it's Dion Warwick. I think it's a Dion.
We're great. We're nailing this. I Was Born This Way is a feature-length documentary exploring the life and legacy of Bean and his resounding message, love is for everyone. I liked this one quite a bit as well. Fantastic documentary. That highlights the life of the revolutionary Archbishop Carl Bean, from disco singer to activist.
Yeah, I thought it was, I mean, it's good. I didn't know anything about him. I had never heard that song.
Yeah.
So part of it is just the discovery of it all.
Yeah.
I think as like a documentary, I think it's pretty standard stuff.
It is.
The animation, I think they kind of rely on that a little too much. But some of it's great, but then like I know it's like used at the end where he's singing, and that's fine, I guess. But I don't know. I thought, oh, we're gonna do this with a childhood, and then like maybe it was just, but I don't know. I think it's kind of relied on too much, or that, and I don't really know if some of it is even needed on certain aspects of his life and the whatever phase it's in. But so yeah, I liked it. I mean, I think it helps to have someone like Billy Porter adds a lot to it because he's a fan and he's also trying to get this song that was on the flip side of it. And you know, so that, I mean, if some of it I think was pretty predictable that song was going to end up and Billy Porter was going to do it and everything else but it's a thing for him where they're singing together. I mean, I think it's a great, I don't think the documentary itself is very innovative, but I do think that the subject matter, again, with Bean, was really fascinating. I was interested in it quite a bit. Again, Lady Gaga, because she did Born This Way and kind of found out. I parts of it I feel like, yes, it's nice to have her name up there. Some things didn't really feel like it added anything to the doc, but having him talk, and for most of it, I don't know, people know he has passed away. That and there you can tell some of the interviews were after it because they would always say he was something. I'm like, he must be gone.
Yeah.
He does a lot for the doc. I like that he's sitting there trying to tell you, and he is who he is, and I don't think that man has changed no matter what. He left, I'm going to assume, good money, because they wanted him to do all these other songs, and he said, no, that's not. He wanted to be that activist, and, you know, that was just in his heart, and then he ended up basically kind of starting this church that doesn't really judge anyone. But I do think it's probably the LGBTQ church. I mean, I think everybody who is one of those, I think, is there. But that's also who, what that song meant to them.
Yeah.
I thought there would be something more with the song, but it's really about him, because the song is not like the story about the song and him singing it and what it was like. It didn't really seem that groundbreaking to me.
And they just kind of go over it like, well, this is what they handed me. And I looked at it and was like, oh, wow, I'm going to say it.
Yeah.
And then he says it and then they sing it and it becomes a hit.
Now, Questlove and them are trying to add kind of the, how crucial it was during this time, especially saying, yes, I'm gay in the 60s and 70s. But yeah, and then like, they kind of throw in like the disco is dead part, the thing I think I see all the time where that one radio guy is burning all the disco and stuff. So there's things like that where I'm like, okay, I don't really know how, I don't really think it added anything to it, but I did like hearing from him, and I liked his story. I could kind of take it or leave it when they try to make it about the kind of reinvention of the song, and we kind of leave Bean for a little bit.
Yeah.
I kind of wish we kind of would have just stuck with him.
I
but
would
overall,
agree with that.
Again, didn't know about it. Now I do. Now you kind of see that was the anthem then, just like a lot of things, like with Gaga and Born This Way is for a new generation. It's nice to see how, like, those that have inspired others sometimes are forgotten by, depending on, how old you are. And this does a great job of giving him his flowers, which he rightfully, deservedly does. So I
thought it was a story about resilience and love. And I think it showed us how the pride and comfort to stand before people as yourself, unashamed, can be a revolution in its own right, as Questlove alludes to near the end of the film.
Yeah.
I think seeing Lady Gaga's involvement in this documentary kind of stresses the importance of keeping the work going and continuing to fight for equal rights for everyone throughout the generations. It's not like Carl Bean can just cut this track in 77 and boom, we're done, we've arrived. It takes something like Lady Gaga to pick up where he left off and keep that going. I thought those were effective things. Again, like I think you said it, the documentary is not exactly revelatory or groundbreaking or anything like that, but I did think it was effective, and I did think this was an enjoyable documentary. Again, screening Sunday, September 21st at 7:30 from Regal Green Hills. This is just a big advertisement for Regal Green Hills.
Good for Green Hills.
So those are the films that we saw together. At this point, I think we kind of need to pick up the pace and go through what
these won't take long.
I watched a documentary called Comparsa, which is set in Ciudad Peronia in Guatemala. We meet a pair of impressive teenage sisters who use art as a means to demonstrate support and spread awareness for their cause, which is exposing a system that turns a blind eye towards violence against women. I mean, this is the result of like a women's home where women are supposed to go to feel safe, to be rehabilitated, that sort of thing. They didn't like how the workers were treating them. They protested, and somebody started a fire in the building. It burned down, and a lot of women died. It's quite harrowing to see how not only that something like that can be allowed to happen in a place where women are supposed to feel safe, but to see how that sort of trauma and other domestic violence and abuse towards women can give young girls such a burden to carry that it sticks with them every day. I mean, even when these two sisters that we meet are so impressive, and you think like, wow, they have this drive to create and to support other women who have been through the same thing. And it's striking because you see it as a positive sort of thing. It's like, oh, wow, they're helping other women. But when you peel it back a little bit and you think about the fact that something happened to them that struck them so deeply and so painfully that it's something that they work to get through every single day of their life. It's a very it's a very harrowing thing. It's a very sad thing to see women that are so young having to kind of wrestle with that on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So there's also some hope in the story to see how present they are in their community and to see what they start through their work, how it directly helps others. It's a long one. I mean, it feels pretty long to get through. It's a very like slow burning story. It's very, very slice of life. You're getting a day in the life of these sisters. You're getting the full extent of their story. It's very fleshed out, very, very heavy stuff. But I think the subject matter is something that I think we could all stand to probably brush up on a little bit, and to think like this is something that is happening in all areas of the world.
Yeah. I'm glad there's a lot of feel-good films
Yeah.
we've been watching.
Yeah. So what do you got? What do you, and sorry, that Comparsa is screening Friday, September 19th at 5:30 from
Regal Green Hills.
Regal Green Hills. There you go.
The two I watched, I got one called Little Trouble Girls. It's about 16-year-old Lucia joins Catholic school choir, befriends senior Anna Maria. During a choir retreat at a convent, Lucia's attraction to a restoration worker creates tension with Anna Maria and challenges her faith. This was directed and co-written by Urska Djokic.
Okay.
I'm sure that's right.
Yeah, we're great with pronunciations.
But this is really just, and honestly, I think it's really well shot. I think it's told quite slowly. I don't think there's some of it's kind of ambiguous. I think some things are supposed to be revelatory, but they're really not. It's really just a coming-of-age drama. It's a sexual, spiritual awakening from this 16-year-old who is obviously still figuring stuff out. She's really just kind of this goody two-shoes, and then she kind of meets this almost like the Mean Girls crowd, but they are, or they at least appear to be very knowledgeable in things that she's not, that she's never even done or seen. And so this weekend ends up being really a pivotal one in the fact of not just with friendships, but also the woman that she is becoming and things that she is experiencing that have not happened before. I gave it 2.5 out of 5. I think during this time, and again, the way that it's told, I think every now and then it gets a bit tedious. It is just a slow, and again, there's nothing too exciting. It's really just simply about this girl and kind of her discovery of things. Like I said, as womanhood is approaching. Some of the things where like, oh, she's, her and this Anna Maria, there's kind of flirting there, even though that's not what Lucia wants. But, there is still that kind of attraction / confusion. But then it's sort of like about this older guy. And so some of it does seem rather juvenile, but that's also a 40-year-old guy watching this. So, I know that these things are a big deal, whether you're, boy or girl, and when you're a teenager. And especially in this environment, the religious constraints that have been applied to the whole group. I mean, they're there as part of the Catholic choir. And she also has a mean choir teacher who, after she seeks to kind of tell him, after he says she can trust him, he ends up just being a dick to her after. But it all basically leads to her finding more out about men and about herself. Most importantly, about herself. So that is playing on Sunday at Green Hills at 8:30. It's called Little Trouble Girls. if you want to check that out. And then this last one is actually The Baltimorons. It is written and directed by Jay Duplass, and actually the star, one of the stars of the film, Michael Strassner, also co-wrote it with Duplass. Now, the Jay Duplass is Mark Duplass's. They are brothers. They're basically hit makers in the indie world. And this is according to IMDb. A newly sober man's Christmas Eve dental emergency leads to an unexpected romance with his older dentist as they explore Baltimore together.
How about that?
So, I enjoyed this one. It all happens on Christmas Eve. Now, listen, I've never been to Baltimore. I've never really wanted to go to Baltimore. But I will say there is beauty in Baltimore. But Michael Strassner, again, who's the star, and he plays Cliff, and then Liz Larson is Dee Dee. That's the dentist. And they are so great together. They're cute. They're charming. The whole film feels like it's like a nice and warm and cozy. Like it's funny. It's ridiculous. And he has a fiance. But the sincerity in the story and in their relationship, and then the way that just Cliff's almost innocence, where like he knows, like he doesn't mean anything by it. He's not trying to hurt anybody, but he is obviously sober. He's also is really big into sketch and improv, but he's never done it sober. So it's almost like he's pretending that he can live in this world that suits his fiance, but he knows that his calling is there. But with that comes the risk of losing it all and going back to drinking. And so, but meeting this dentist, Dee Dee, is, and she has something going on with her, like problems with her ex-husband and her daughter, and the way that they kind of just stumble into each other's lives, but also feels like they were meant to find each other, to confront these things in their lives that they're both struggling with separately, and the way they tackle them together on top of, it's cold, it's Christmas, jackets, scarves. I mean, 'tis the season. I really liked it. Again, it's sweet, it's innocent, it's funny. But the Baltimorons was it's quite delightful.
Man,
I enjoyed it.
When is that one screening again?
This one is a bit different. This one, I'm giving it 3.5 out of 5. It's on Saturday, the 20th. It's at 7 p.m. But this is at the fancy Soho House.
Ooh.
And as far as I know, it is sold out.
Oh, everybody wants to go to Soho House.
So, yeah. Anybody who hasn't been to Soho House, it's like a rich person's home theater.
Okay.
With little lamps and footstools that have blankets in them.
Ooh,
I got to see the second Knives Out movie there.
Oh,
that's the only reason I know.
Was that a press screening? Or?
It was. Yeah, it was a Netflix thing.
How about that? Netflix pulling out all the stops.
But yeah, if that ends up having an extra screening, or this is also by Independent Film and the IFC.
Yeah.
Film. So it's possible that it might come out kind of maybe around November and December. So if you don't get to catch it at the Nashville Film Festival, keep an eye on it. Listen, I watched it in September.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to watch it again around the holidays as well. But yeah, but I can't give Michael Strassner and Liz Larson enough credit. They are just wonderful together. I'm not familiar with their work before this, but they are. The way that their characters connect it sort of makes you warm and fuzzy.
Well, how about that?
I'm going to say it, warm and fuzzy. So anyway, Baltimorons, anyway, I already say I gave it 3.5 out of 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've got tickets. I will be out at Green Hills on Friday, the 19th, a couple days from now. I'm going to see Louder Than Guns, which is the singer of Old Crow Medicine Show, and radio journalist David Green sitting down to have an open conversation about gun violence in America. So really, we're just
here we go again,
keeping the uplifting stuff. And then I've got tickets for September Says at 2:30 as well. What are you going to see at the festival this weekend?
So I will be there Friday to see Cactus Pears and Fuck Toys.
Okay.
Which I actually started seeing stuff about Fuck Toys a few months ago. I don't know if it was at Sundance that I saw. But anyway, apparently it's this wild satire. And so anyway, that should be good. I really want to see Josh O'Connor's Rebuilding.
Okay.
That's on Saturday or Sunday. There's a documentary called Speak. That's about the, what's that competition? Sort of like the spelling bee, but not. I can't remember. But that's a documentary.
The grammar bee?
Yeah, maybe. If only there was a film guide I could look at. But The Kiss of the Spider Woman, I am going to catch that one at the closing night one. And
what's that movie called?
Speak with a period.
I will effort that as you're talking.
I'm also going to try and see Peacock, which is a foreign comedy film, and yeah, I think that's it for now. I mean, I have a couple more on the radar, but I never know if I'm going to quite be able to see it or not. The Python Hunt.
I wanted to see the Python Hunt too. Yeah.
That's a documentary on those damn snakes. But let me tell you, that looks very interesting to me. And then I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what's going to be either Best of the Fest or the Audience Award winner ones. Just kind of see what pops up there. But yeah, so it's sort of busy.
The Super Bowl of Public Speaking, the NSDA Nationals.
Okay, NSDA. So it's public speaking one.
Yeah.
But I think that was at Sundance as well, and the Rebuilding one is a part of, I think, special presentations as well. So yeah, looking forward to those, seeing what all those are like, and I'm sure as always it'll be a wild ride.
Can't wait.
From one film to the next.
Yeah, well, that's going to do it for us, unless you've got any parting thoughts. Get out there and see a movie this weekend.
Green Hills.
Yeah, just show up.
Just show up there. You'll be fine.
See whatever's there. I say make time for Omaha on Saturday night.
Yes, that's going to be, without seeing these other ones and the ones that we've talked about, if that Soho House becomes open, get in there if you can. If not, be on the lookout for it. But Omaha, that, I mean, I can't think of a better way to spend a Saturday night than having your heart ripped out.
There you go. There you go. That's going to do it for us. Rate, review, subscribe wherever you take in your podcast. Check out all of our work at NashvilleMovieDispatch.substack.com. He's Brandon. I'm Stoney. And until next time, you stay classy, Nashville.